Arsenal Monday Night Football, which will be at 6:30 every evening, so it gives us an extra half an hour build up on what is probably the best show on telly there. Palace 6.6, Arsenal 1.63. The draw is available on 4.2. Both teams to score. Yes, it's currently available at 1.87. No is favoured a little bit in that market. We'll look at the Asian handicap line, which sees Palace gets a 1-goal head start at 1.88, and the goal line is 2.5, and that's shaded a little bit to the under. So, Mark, back to you on this one, and maybe specifically on Arsenal and that opening game against Nottingham Forest, which at times was looking very comfortable and very routine. Got a bit edgy in that last 10, 15 minutes, probably a little bit of sloppiness from a counter-attack from Arsenal. So overall, where is your position on Arsenal from where it was game week 1? Has it changed much after that opening game?
Not from the match itself, but perhaps from injuries and transfer speculation. So, I haven't changed my rating on Arsenal yet, but there is a concern. There is a question mark around where Arsenal are going to be at the end of August. They did enough to beat Forest without sort of blowing the house down. Good to see Eddie Nketiah scoring after demanding to be involved, according to Arteta. Declan Rice looked at home in central midfield. Saka and Martinelli sparkled. But to lose Timber to what looked like a serious knee injury is a worry, as is Gabriel and the speculation surrounding his future. So that's one to watch, really, in terms of Arsenal defensively. We saw, or we assume and sort of speculated last year about Arsenal's defence perhaps being the issue really in their sort of title challenge, sort of filtering out towards the end of the campaign, particularly Saliba's absence. But one to watch really. I think Forest left it a little bit too late to really test them. I know Brennan Johnson missed that sitter really in the first half, but that came out of nothing really. So, I suspect Arsenal will need to glove up a bit more really for this trip to Selhurst Park. I think Palace will be a bit more aggressive, a bit more front foot, and probably play with a bit more belief and gusto compared to Forest when they go away. And, Palace probably had one of the easier assignments on the opening day, going to Sheffield United. Very impressive, though. Dominated possession, which is unlike Roy Hodgson and Palace, 68% of the ball. They've got a very strong core and centre of the midfield now as well with Lerma and Doucouré, and that's kind of given Eze a bit more licence as well from attacking midfield, and he certainly took advantage. 8 shots, 7 chances created. That was the most created by a Palace player since 2016. So I guess the issue with Palace always is the end product, just 1 goal from 24 shots and 8 efforts on target. So your concern with Palace is always that. Do they have the ability to score from the opportunities that they do create? And I guess flip it round, Arsenal shouldn't have this kind of fear factor that some teams do have going to Selhurst on a Monday night. They've won 2 of the last 3 visits there. They were the best travellers in the Premier League last season. An excellent record, 12 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats at teams outside of the top 3, conceding just 11 goals in that 16-game sample. They actually only conceded 5 goals when visiting teams in 8th and below, which is a 13-game sample. 9 clean sheets, really exceptional stuff there. And 9 wins also in that 13-game sample, all of which came under 3.5 goals. So I'll follow a similar approach here because I think Arsenal do have that extra oomph in the final third, which is needed to sort of unlock a tight match, which this could be if Palace do sit in with those 2, destroyers in the centre of the park. So I've chosen Arsenal and under 4.5 goals here at 187. Palace scored 1 goal at home against the top 5 last season. Only once managed 2 goals or more when hosting a top 10 finisher. So I think it will be quite competitive, but I just give Arsenal the edge for obvious reasons, really. So, Arsenal and under 4.5 goals.
Cool. Currently available at 1.87, the selection of Mark O'Haire. And Adrian, a little bit on Arsenal and maybe even that team selection. And condolences to every Gabriel fantasy Premier League owner, including myself, when the team sheets came in at 11:30. We're shocked to find Gabriel not starting a Premier League game for Arsenal. Given the Timbers injury, I'm probably expecting to come back in here on Monday Night Football, but your takeaway from that selection heading into this game?
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all. I had him in my fantasy team as well. So I didn't have any heads up. I'd assumed he was injured, but it was obviously a tactical decision. But with Timber being out, he'll have to come back in. He becomes integral again to the team. I liked the tactical change in a way. I really liked Thomas Partey's role in the game. He was nominally at right back, but pretty much played at central midfield. And Arsenal reverted to a back 3 in possession, and it worked very, very well. But I think it worked very well because Forest was so defensive. The wingers, Saka and Martinelli, pinned their wing-backs back. So there was no one really for Partey to mark. I don't think it's a system we'll play every week because other teams, especially teams that that will spring attacks down the wings. It's just too risky, I think, to play that way. But it's good to see Mikel Arteta try something new. Didn't create a lot in terms of quality chances. I know the XG was really low compared to the rest of the division, but it was a game that Arsenal dominated. It was largely impressive. But yeah, caught again on a counter attack. That's something they've got to work on. They'll control this game. Palace will let Arsenal have it, and it's down to Arsenal to produce sharper passing, better movement, and to create better chances. But yeah, as Mark's outlined, the record away to teams outside the top 8 is tremendous, or it was tremendous last season. So many clean sheets. I mean, in total, 10 of Arsenal's 19 away games ended with a win to nil. And that included the game at Selhurst Park, which I think was the opening night for Arsenal last season. Really comprehensive win. I would see something similar this time. Got to be careful of Eze, who's in good form. Ayew as well, as a player that's hurt Arsenal in the past. He set up a lovely goal, I thought, at Sheffield United. But yeah, it's a big step up for Palace, who might have dominated against the Blades, but I don't think that's going to happen here. So yeah, I'm confident Arsenal can win the game. It will be tight. Don't think it'll be a thrashing by any sense, but Arsenal to win and to keep a rare clean sheet. They haven't had one, apart from one friendly against the All-Stars of the MLS. Apart from that, they've had no clean sheet since they came back this summer. They're due one. And I just think, even though Mark's bet is a very, very good one, it's a very safe ploy. I just think there's quite a jump, isn't there, to 2.66 for Arsenal to win to nil. So for that reason, I'm going to plump for this selection instead of Mark's.
And it's for that reason I'm going to plump for it too. I think it's a massive jump to 2.66. Arsenal on the road to Crystal Palace. Both teams to score no, included in the Arsenal win, is 2.66. So full recap of all those selections, insights.matchbook.com. Do check that out. That'll be available around Wednesday afternoon onwards. So over the weekend, ahead of these Premier League games, do check out insights.matchbook.com. Full recap of all the bets put up here. We'll go to our EFL selection here. Adrian, 1 out of 1 to start. Your EFL picks really solid. You played it safe, one selection, got it over the line, and just about in Bolton in 3-0, I think it was.